Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Criminal Justice Corner. Here at Criminal Justice Corner, we dive into the real details surrounding the case, and just in case you find yourself in the same situation, we give you potential actionable advice so that you can find your way out of it. Today, I have with me a very special guest, Candace MacPhie. Candace, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Thanks, Jennifer. Okay, okay, where do I start? I know you told me you were going to ask this question. Anyways, right. Um, I worked in the corporate world for a very long time, not doing very interesting forensic work, but I did sort of I worked in HR for a long time, but my main thing was managing change. So managing
Mm.
large change in terms of company mergers and looking at corporate culture and helping people feel more comfortable. So that's my base background. I have an undergraduate degree and a master's of business administration. And all of a sudden the world just became a little a little too much and just not what I wanted. So I quit my job and I decided to change things because I wasn't living how I wanted to live, wasn't really following my values. And that was about 7 years ago. And I quit my job and started writing books. So I've written 2 books so far and just keep going from there. So that's me.
Well, I want to commend you on your bravery because not every day does a person wake up, realize they're not happy in their day to day, and just say, forget it, and then start doing what they're passionate about. So I just want to commend you on your bravery to do that because it takes bravery to step out on faith and go for what you know you're passionate about and believe that it's going to work. Because people are afraid nowadays. They're just like, oh, no. But you were ready. You're like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm not fulfilled. So kudos to you for that. That's huge.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
And now you've written 2 books. What are the names of your books?
My first one is called Finding Color, and the second one is called Life Strikes Back. And I'm just working on the third one. It's a 5-part series, a memoir about backpacking around the world in the late 90s.
So were you backpacking or is it a fictional tale?
Oh no, I was backpacking, and it's actually completely nonfiction. It's all of the crazy and wonderful things that happened during that time. And it's just one of those books you can pick up and just read and enjoy and have a laugh. It's cringy, it's funny, it's scary, it's all the good stuff.
It sounds real. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like real life, which is a lot of times what people gravitate to. Like reality shows are a thing. We know anything on the internet, like YouTube, that's real. That's what people are drawn to now. So I think you're onto something, honestly.
Okay, well, there you go.
So today we're going to talk about Mr. Jonathan Luna. And I picked Jonathan Luna to discuss today because I felt like his story was very interesting, to say the least, because there was so much mystery surrounding how he passed. And I felt like his case deserved another set of eyes. My eyes, Candace's eyes. We could put a new light on this case, and who knows what we could discover. But I wanted us to be able to dive into the details and just determine what we see, what is out there, what is not out there, what's being said, what's not being said. So I really wanted to dive into the Jonathan Luna case. So we know that Jonathan was a prosecutor in Baltimore. So he was married to a lovely obstetrician and they had 2 children together. So he had a wonderful life going on for himself, from the outside. We never know what's going on behind closed doors, so we can only speculate there. But from the outside, he has a wife and 2 lovely children. That's what people normally want out of life. But on this particular night, which was back in 2003, early December 2003, he left his courthouse that he worked in and he withdrew $200 from his bank account. That's all normal behavior, right? Then he went to a gas station and he got a ticket and he exited his car at this turnpike. And what we can tell from what we can tell, I should say. From what we can tell is he had a pocket knife and somehow, some way, because there's no video. So that's why I'm saying somehow, some way. I'm always going to say allegedly because I was not there. I'm never going to say this happened, that happened. I'm not going to say that because I was not there. What we know, according to the forensic autopsy, is that he was stabbed 36 times by his own pocket knife. That's hard to do, whether somebody does that to you, whether you do it to
Totally.
yourself. That
Totally.
is
That's
hard
a
to
lot of
do.
times. Like I got bored after 5 if I'm stabbing myself. Like, okay, how do you keep going? Like that doesn't that's weird.
How?
Yeah.
And then me, I'm a person, I don't like pain. What about you, Candace? Can you take pain like that?
There'd be like a paper cut. Ah, I wouldn't.
Exactly. Me, I'm thinking about pain right now and I'm done, right? Like 36 times, that is a lot. And then a pocket knife, which it could have been sharp, it could not maybe not been sharp. So to stab, whether because we don't know, to stab yourself or somebody else stab you with it, that is hard to do 36 times.
Yeah, I didn't read anything about any drugs in his system or anything because I thought, well, maybe if he's
Exactly.
under the influence of something, he could have been, a little
Exactly.
faster. Or, yeah,
Exactly. And
I think.
then these after this is according to the forensic autopsy, after the 36 stabs, he is drowned. How does that happen? You're already leaking the blood, and I don't know exactly where, which I should say which stab came first. We won't necessarily know that. But 36 stabs and then you drown. Candace, help me out here. How does this even happen? How does this well-respected man, how does this happen to him?
Well, this is where I got excited in terms of my research, going down and seeing my well-respected man that might have been a little more dubious than reported, right?
Okay, okay.
I was reading in that there was a questionable, he was on a bank robbery case, and then there
Huh?
was some money that went missing after the bank robbery case. That
Wow.
was not too far along. There was also that he was, I think it was, where is my notes here? He had, I think, 16 credit cards and he had about $20,000 worth of debt. I looked up what the salary is. He's an assistant district attorney. So the
Right,
salary, and that was just like today's salary, so it would have been way less before. So
right.
84 to 120. Now his wife had a decent job, but apparently
Obstetrician.
she didn't know about his credit cards. Also, he was on a lot of websites looking for a little something something on the side, and was,
Was that men or women he was looking for?
I don't know. They didn't say, and I don't know. So that
Okay.
was a question
Okay.
mark. That doesn't
That
really
remains
matter.
a mystery.
Still something on the side, whatever side
It's
you're
still
going,
something. Absolutely.
right?
It's extramarital.
Um,
We'll take that. Yep.
he's cheating, right?
Absolutely.
So then, one of the things I was thinking of was the amount of $200. It's not a lot, but it's
No.
enough to sort of get something from someone, right?
Yeah.
If you were looking for that. And I also thought it was weird. I'm from Canada, so I had to look up, this corner of the states where 4 intersecting states are, with him wheeling through from Maryland to Delaware to New Jersey and then Pennsylvania. It's quite a
Mm-hmm.
lot of, like, I know they're all just kind of there all
Right.
in the
They're
corner.
close, but it's still a lot to do in one night.
Yeah, and that to me was really interesting. I thought if it was on the sort of like the more murdery side of something, it'd be interesting to go to all those different places and thinking, okay, I don't know if how the courts, like how the police system works. Like if you something happens in different states, do they talk to each other, or is it
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
isolated? Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a factor
definitely.
in terms of something. But yeah, there was a lot of external variables. And also every time I do this and every time I look into something, I'm like, kind of really boring. I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
how's all this happening?
Any exciting other things? I'm like, wow, these people, I don't know how they fit. I don't know how they could fit all that stuff into their life, like in terms of how do
Yeah.
you compartmentalize all of your sort of side activities and your job and your family. I
Yes.
just think it must get really sort of stressful, or you're just so used to it. I don't know. Do you find that a lot? Like, do you find that in terms of in the past when you've looked at these things?
Definitely, they can get overwhelming. And what happens is, like you're saying, they'll be doing thing one, they'll add on thing two, they'll add on thing three. And then, let's say it gets all the way up to thing five. Let's just say that. Once it gets overwhelming, that's when the crimes are committed. That's what I've seen a lot of. It's when it's like you pile it on, pile it on, pile it on, and then when you can't take it anymore, you do the most drastic thing you can think of. And that's I'm not saying that happened here, but one theory is that it was a kidnapping case gone wrong. So like you were saying, maybe, with this debt, maybe he wanted somebody to pay a ransom. I don't know. And maybe he lost too much blood with the stabbing. That's one of the theories that is out there. And I do find it strange that he left the courthouse so late in the night. It was like after 11 o'clock. Now, I don't know what's happening in his state at that time of night at a courthouse. I used to work in a courthouse. It was very, very, very rare that we stayed at the courthouse that late. And then it was under exigent circumstances that we would do those sorts of things. So for him to stay that late, I would inquire with his office what was going on that day. Did he have a reason to be there that late? Because even if, let's say, he was working on a case, his office would not necessarily be at the courthouse. So why wouldn't he have left his office versus the courthouse that late?
Yeah, so back in 2003, I'm thinking, yeah,
Yeah,
you had a laptop and you could work
right.
from home, right? So it
You'll
wasn't
have
like
a laptop for sure.
you can dial in, do your business, and God,
Maybe
it'd be
not dial in. I don't know if that it was that prevalent back then. But you definitely, why would you work at 11 o'clock at night at a courthouse? What's going on there? What kind of court business is being conducted that late at night? 11 o'clock at night?
Do you know what else I found interesting? And maybe I'm applying today's sort of standards of investigation to things, but I, he passed through all of these tolls,
Yes, he
and
did. And you
why
know that's gonna have cameras.
why didn't they see in the car? Like, why couldn't they see if he was alone or not? I kind of didn't
That's
understand.
accurate. That
I
is accurate.
Yeah.
So the police, when they did their investigation, they are saying that based on all that, whether they saw the toll footage or not, they're saying they tracked him on those tolls, and from the police perspective, it was a suicide. However, from
Mm.
a medical examiner's perspective, it was homicide. So we have two differing, analysis here.
And every single picture that I saw of the vehicle going through the tolls was always from behind. There was always, there was no front shots.
No front
And
view.
I'm thinking, well, if the cameras, you'll see, like there got to be more than one. Even in 2003, there had to be more than you would know that they would film sort of the face shot, but every single shot was the back of the car. Oh, here goes the car through this turnpike. Here goes the car through that turnpike. But there was no front picture ever.
Right. Now, the medical examiner who performed the autopsy, he noted that Jonathan Luna left his glasses, which he was required to wear for driving. He left his glasses and his cell phone at his desk in his office. And there was blood in the back seat of his vehicle. So, if there was blood in the back seat of the vehicle, that would imply that somebody else was driving.
Well, it could also apply he got into some business. One interesting thing I did get, which I thought was funny, he had a nail miss, not fun. I didn't find this funny. Ironic, like just interesting. Funny, interesting. Um, was that he had bruised testicles and a nail missing. So if he had picked up someone for a little side action, for to spend his $200, which were also found strewn in the car. His $200 everywhere in the car. Apparently, this is what I heard. And so maybe they were in the back seat and the person wasn't receptive, and then that's when we got into the 36 steps. But there was no, but then again, if you're getting down with someone, it's very rare you're going to be wearing gloves, right?
True. Yes.
So if I'm going to stab someone, I'm going to get my fingerprints on something. And
Yes.
I don't know about you, but in the movies they just take the cloth and quickly go. That
It
can't
don't work like
happen.
that.
You got to leave something else
You
there, a
have
part,
to.
like there's got to be some. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here because you're the expert. But what do you think about that?
So I find that very interesting. But what's also interesting is, let's say he picked up somebody for some side action. Let's say that he did that. And that was the $200. Anybody in my experience that you are picking up for side action and you have cash, they're taking that cash. They're not
Abs-
leaving it in the vehicle strewn about. And let's just say they were in a hurry. Let's say, for the sake of this conversation, they're in a hurry. They're gonna get some of that money. You're not gonna find all 200 of those dollars. You're gonna find maybe 100 of those dollars because I'm in a hurry, but I need something.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
leave with nothing, because we know when tragedy strikes, you're in a panic. But the money you're saying is all everywhere in the car. So if you got time to wipe down for fingerprints, you got time to pick up some money.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. So
So
that
that's
was just.
very strange.
Mhm, mhm, absolutely.
Oh, what's going on? So we got blood in the back seat. We got money in the back seat. What is, I'm sorry, not, I'm sorry, the money was not in the backseat. It was strewn about the car. So how? What was really going on? And then for the medical examiner say he needed his glasses. So if you're picking up somebody for some extracurricular activities, why don't you have your glasses and why don't you have your cell phone? How are you communicating with them?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if I'm trying to meet up with somebody, let's say we're going to dinner and I'm trying to meet up with somebody, I'm going to be texting them, hey, I'm on my way. Hey, I'm 10 minutes away. Hey, I'm pulling up.
It could also be like there's known spots where you can recruit the right type of person that you're looking for.
That is
Um,
accurate. That is
so
accurate.
maybe that was the angle that evening rather than someone he had corresponded with.
Hmm.
He was doing some free-based recruiting or whatever we want to call it. And that could have happened. I don't know.
It's accurate that there are known spots where you can just go and, do things anonymously. That's accurate. But it still lends to the fact that you're going to get the money.
Yeah,
If
you
you're
would.
going to these spots, you're not leaving the money. Like
You're not.
I'm
No,
yeah,
you're not.
you're there for a reason.
Absolutely.
You're not there, for McDonald's.
No, absolutely. Put yourself in that
You're
situation.
there for a particular reason.
Yeah.
So no fingerprints, money still in the vehicle. What type of person are we dealing with here?
Well, I also was reading up that he wasn't doing allegedly. I'm going to use your word.
That's right. Yeah.
Wasn't doing very good at work. He'd had a poor performance review, and he was also supposed to send someone a plea deal that night for a drug case,
Yes.
and it never went through. So not only that, he wasn't doing that great at work. He had this credit card debt. He
Hmm.
himself was making, a decent salary if you weren't racking up the credit card debt,
Right. Yeah.
and had this side, side desires that
Exactly.
he,
Activities.
right, extra stuff that he was fulfilling. So yes, and then there's the stolen money that they weren't sure about
Right. From the robbery case.
from the robbery case. So those are sort of the type of like on the surface, smiley, everyone's happy, but everyone can fake it for a while.
Totally, they can fake it for a while. Totally. But my
Yeah.
question also would be, why is he the suspect in the missing money in the robbery case? Because, normally the money goes through maybe the prosecutor's hands and the defense attorney's hands, and then, of course, the evidence locker.
Yeah.
Why him? Why are they saying he was the person, the suspect, and, to take this missing money? That's going to be my other question. I'm not saying he did or didn't, but why are we thinking he would be the suspect that would take that money?
Yeah, I didn't get anything on that
Yeah, it
other
didn't
than
say.
the
But that's
evidence. So
why
we
this is such a mystery.
on that. But I also felt like were practices that lax and okay, so it's 20 years, right? 21 years.
Definitely.
Were practices that lax? Was it there that
Mm,
are we getting filmed so much more? Like, is there so much more video on us at the moment? Like, have we just have I sort of got to this place where I'm like, well, what? And why isn't there an editing film of that? And why isn't there?
totally.
And it's like, have I just have I? Is my expectations of this time incorrect in terms of, you know, if there's the theory about someone was with him at some point and he passed
Right.
all of those really like those turnpikes and where you have to pay, those aren't things that you
Definitely.
pass. Like there's got to be some kind of video at those places. I
Hmm.
guess even if there's not the CCTV around everywhere,
Right.
I don't know. What do you have knowledge on that? Because I obviously don't know, and I was just curious. I thought, that's just felt really strange to me too.
So, of course, now 2024, there is a lot of CCTV. Back in 2003, there was not, but there was at the turnpikes for sure.
Yeah,
Maybe not each and every stall like it is now, but there
yeah,
was video surveillance footage back then.
right,
100%. And that's probably how they got the license plate. So, what it makes me think is that back then they were only recording the license plates, but now they're recording both.
yeah.
If you think
And
about
and
it.
when I saw the picture of the car going through, it was just the back of the
Hmm.
car, and I thought, well, maybe if they were filming someone else's car, like the car in front of him, taking a picture, but you still wouldn't have got the front of the other car if they were just like
Exactly.
license plate. You wouldn't see the front, like you might see the front bumper of the car behind you, but you wouldn't. So yeah, you wouldn't see in the car. Yeah,
Exactly. Like now you're gonna see inside the car. You go
yeah,
through any tollway or something turnpike
yeah,
now, you're gonna see everything. You're gonna see who in the back seat now, for this very reason. And
yeah,
now they have license plate readers where they can track your whole distance. These license plate readers are on all of the poles on the highways and byways nowadays. So this type of thing, this particular mystery would be solved more quickly now because of the license plate readers, the CCTV cameras that are more prevalent in these different locations, and possibly the location where he stopped his vehicle. Because even where he drowned at, I bet there are cameras there now.
yeah, 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 absolutely.
So, yeah, so I feel like because we do live in a society where if it's not on footage, if it's not on camera, it didn't happen. I feel like that. It's like, where's your receipt? Like, can you show me? I don't believe that. No, like, where did you see that at? No, I don't believe you. Like, we don't even believe our own eyes anymore. We need to roll back the beautiful being footage. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know. It's a huge, huge mystery. I feel bad for his family because they will never know what happened.
Yeah,
They've hired private investigators to try and get to the bottom of it, and they still, 20 years later, don't even have the answers that they need.
yeah, yeah,
So it's
and
just
that
like,
whole the number of stab wounds I just thought was really
that's
strange.
excessive.
Yeah, and then I thought, well, like you said, the drug thing, I thought, well, that, and then but yeah, but you never know, how you put the picture together and say, okay, so he had a bad day at work, maybe maybe we're blowing that whole work thing out of proportion. So, okay, who was doing poorly at work? Maybe someone was just pissy at him one day because he forgot he dropped the ball. He had one bad day, dropped the ball,
Totally.
and then therefore he does a bad job all the time. So
Mhm.
that could be the representation of the what I heard, right?
Totally.
The credit card debt, well, that's a fact, right? So
Yeah.
that exists. And
And his wife didn't know about it. So what if
yeah,
she was on the verge of finding out? Or what if she had just found out and he could not face her? That could be something, because remember how I told you in my experience, when people have their backs against the wall, they do drastic things. That could have
yeah,
been a thing. Anything is possible at this point. We don't know.
yeah, yeah.
So this, unfortunately, the Jonathan Luna case will remain a mystery, but like I always do every episode, we have to leave the guests with some takeaways. So,
Okay.
my first takeaway with this particular case is going to be that nothing is that bad. Nothing is that bad. Whether it's credit card debt, whether you're performing badly at work, whether you have a tumultuous home life, nothing is that bad where you can't survive it, where you can't live to see another day and turn it around, because you don't want to continue down a dark path. You want to try and improve things. So I feel like, ending it all prematurely is never going to be the answer. You should seek help. You should talk to a friend, a family member, something like that. There's never a reason that you should just end it all abruptly. Is going to be my suggestion. You should not just say, you know what, I had a bad day, I'm going to end it all. That's not logical, and you're going to leave your family, your friends with so many unanswered questions, with so many thoughts as to what they could have done differently. So it's better to talk to people, talk to somebody to see how your situation can be improved, so you don't leave your friends, family, coworkers, everybody just with lingering thoughts forever. What would be a takeaway or takeaways for you, Candace?
Yeah, I think I would feel the same way in terms of you and just take it a step just in a different path and say, you know, if you talk to someone, they might be mad at you. Okay, that like that fear you have of disappointing people or
Yes.
someone being mad at you. They would rather be mad at you and you be there than
Mm-hmm.
you not be there. And
Totally.
if you have to blow up your life and sort of tell someone, and there's a certain point, I think, as an individual, if someone comes to me and says, I need to talk to you. And that's the voice where I put everything down and go, okay, and just, okay,
Yes.
tell me.
Embrace yourself.
Yeah, tell me. And I might be shocked and I might be mad, or, but I would like to think I would just be so glad that you came and told me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and, and that you were you felt like you could come and talk to me about that.
Mm-hmm. That they picked you of all people that they know to come and have a heart to heart with.
Yes, yes, and there's always someone there, whether it's someone that you know or someone you don't know that you can talk to about it. There's a lot of helplines, there's a lot of places you can go and talk things through. So I'm with you.
And free help.
Yes, free,
Not everything
exactly.
costs. A lot of people are, they don't have the funds. We just talked about Jonathan Luna having credit card debt. Not everything costs. Like you said, there's free help, there are free hotlines, free services out there. You don't have to have money to get the help that you need. So that's really important for people to know, because they might think, man, I don't have any money right now. I can't get the help I need. You
Yeah,
don't need money to get help.
yeah,
There are services available for you right here today if you need help. Google it. It's out there. I promise.
yes, absolutely, 100%.
Now, Candace, where can the listening audience find you when they want to get in contact with you or read your books? Where can they find you?
Well, it's the best place is my website. So it's CandaceMacPhie.com. So exactly how it's spelled on the screen.com. And yeah, all the information on the books and everything's there. And if you wanted to reach out, information's there to do that as well.
I love that. I can't wait to get your two books so I can read them. I love to travel. So when I get on the plane, this will be perfect reading for me. I love to read. I love to travel. So I got something to read now. I can't wait.
Excellent. That's good.
This this is so perfect. Thank you for sharing your insight with us. Thank you for sharing your books with us. And you're more than welcome to come back anytime for another episode.
Thank you, Jennifer. Love it.
And I want to thank everybody for listening. And I want to advise everybody to please tell a friend to tell a friend about Criminal Justice Corner. We are now on the Alive Podcast Network. You can find us there. And if you're on YouTube, please make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you on the next episode of Criminal Justice Corner. Thank you.